I recently did a video where I highlight 3 main areas to focus on that helped me to land the role where I currently work right now as a project manager. So if you're someone that's got an interview or is trying to get some interviews for a project management role, do go and check that video out. I'm following that video up with this one where I'm talking about the interview question types that you can expect when you land an interview. Number 1 is behavioral questions. Basically, you'll be asked to describe your past experiences and how you handled certain situations. For example, you might be asked about a time where you successfully managed a project with a tight deadline and how you handled a difficult team member. They want to get an idea of how you would behave in those types of situations, and that's what they're trying to get out of you. You want to keep that STAR technique when answering those questions, so you've got a structure in your answers and you're giving the interviewer the best out of the example that you are giving them. So what you want to do, first of all, at a very high level, just describe what the situation was that you were in, and then you also want to describe the task that was expected of you, and then the action, what you actually did, as well as the result. Now, another quick tip on top of that humanizes you even more, and this worked for me as well, is following the STAR technique. Rather than coming across as someone that's overconfident or someone that never does anything wrong, you want to also add any learnings from that. This is how I potentially could have done this differently to be better off. I think that humanizes you even more to the interviewer, and that human side of you comes out even more, and it shows that you're not conceited, you're not overconfident, you're not cocky, you're someone that strives to always continue to get better. The second type of question is technical questions. These assess your knowledge of project management principles and practices. An example would include asking about your experience with project management software, how you prioritize tasks, developing project plan, budgeting, that sort of stuff. So the technical elements of becoming a project manager. Keep in mind, these won't come at you directly. They won't ask you, how do you prioritize tasks? They'll most likely present a scenario where, for example, they say, as a project manager, you've got 15 hours worth of work being landed on your desk. You're being told it all needs to be done. How do you handle that situation? And that's when you think, okay, prioritization. This is how I would prioritize those tasks, and that's how you'd approach it. So this is where the preparation comes in. And I mentioned this on the last video as well, how you can go about preparing examples, how to structure those examples, etc. So you might want to check that out. So as soon as a question comes in, you need to link it into any examples that you've had, and you want to keep that STAR framework in mind. The third type of question that you might get is scenario questions. They ask you to apply your knowledge and experience to a hypothetical situation. For example, a project manager might be asked how they could handle a situation where a team member misses a deadline, or what you would do if a project goes over budget. How would you handle this particular scenario? And again, STAR technique, keep that in mind. Start with a high level. This was the situation, this was your task, this was your action, this is your result, and any reflection following that. I could have done this better in reflection, or in reflection, I did really well because of these reasons. Fourth type of question is communication related questions. So communication questions could include how you handle conflicts. They could include how you ensure everyone is on the same page, reporting progress to stakeholders. So you want to try and link those examples that you've prepared around those types of questions. Again, keep in mind, they will not be direct. They'll try and confuse you a little bit, but you have prepared by this point. You've got your examples written down. You've read them as if you're studying for exams. So hopefully that should help you in those types of situations. The fifth type of question is leadership related. Obviously, project managers are expected to be leaders, and you're going to motivate your team and try and keep everyone on track. So these questions will include how you inspire your team, how you hold team members accountable, how you adapt your leadership style to different personalities and different situations. How flexible are you with your style? Are you someone that forces your style on everyone, or are you someone that's able to adapt depending on the type of person that you deal with? For example, you could be dealing with an HR person that's more of a personal type and human in terms of their communication style. Perhaps it's very relaxed, and you might be dealing with a finance person that's a lot more pragmatic and wanting to see things in detail and wanting things to be explained in numbers. And you might be communicating with a colleague, which again is a bit more relaxed, and you're explaining things at a high level, etc. So those are the examples that you want to come across, how you communicate. So in essence, those are 5 different types of questions you can expect from a project management interview. So you've got behavioral questions, you've got technical questions, you've got scenario questions, you've got communication questions, and you've got leadership questions as well. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have, give me that big thumbs up and subscribe. And again, get in touch with me in the comments and let me know if you have found value within these videos, and if there are any other topics in this lane that you'd like me to touch on in the next video. For now, I will see you in the